Welcome to this week's edition of Black Authors Matter TV, where we interview the latest movers and shakers in the African American literary community. You'll meet some old friends, discover new ones, and stay abreast of the latest book developments around the country and even the world. So sit back and relax for the next 2 hours with Black Authors Matter TV co-hosts Gwen Richardson and Dr. Rhonda Lawson.
Good evening and welcome to another episode of Black Authors Matter TV. I'm Gwen Richardson, your host for tonight, and I am right now awaiting the sign in for my co-host and for our first guest. This is one of the challenges occasionally, and it's very occasional, of doing a live show is if everything works fine, which it normally does, it's great, but when it doesn't all work fine, then it's a challenge. So I'm going to hope that they sign in. I've already texted the person that was supposed to notify the first guest. And I'm going to check now to see if I have received a message from Rhonda that she will be delayed. And I had checked earlier and I didn't see a message. So let's see. I don't see a message that she's delayed, but she's not logged on. And so in the meantime, there she is logged on now. So we do have 2 books we're giving away tonight. And while we're waiting for our first guest to sign in, we can give away this first book. And this one, it will be exciting for people because it is the new book by Terry McMillan. It's an arc of her book that's coming out. Let's see, the date is next Tuesday. It's coming out next Tuesday. So the title is It Was the Way She Said It. And this is the art that they sent. And so before I do that, Rhonda, welcome to the show. We haven't the first guest hasn't signed in.
I think that's not the first guest.
No, that's actually the last guest. So sometimes people sign in early, they just want to make sure they can get in.
Wait, I know who the first guest is, and that definitely is not the first guest.
Right. And I've already texted his publicist who said everything was a go this morning.
Is he in a different
he's on the East Coast.
I mean, on the East Coast.
He lives on
time
the
zone.
East Coast. He lives on the East Coast, but I don't know because he travels. I don't know if he's on the East Coast. Let me see, because she didn't respond to my text.
And you want me to call? Because I'm good for calling people.
Yeah, that will be great. I did forward you the form.
Yeah, I have it. I have it.
So right. Yeah, try calling.
Y'all talk amongst yourselves. Let me grab my phone.
And then in the meantime, we can give away Terry McMillan's book. So it comes out next Tuesday. It's called It Was the Way She Said It. And the trivia question to win this, which is an advanced reading copy of the book, the trivia question for this is, what is the title of the last book Terry McMillan had before this one? So her last release. It's been a few years since she released the book. So what was the title of the last
book? I know. Oh, I can't tell. Sorry.
Okay. So if you get the answer, you get this advanced reading copy of the book. Now, did you have any success, Rhonda?
No, I'm working on it right now.
Okay. All right. So the National Black Book Festival is only 7.5 weeks away. So if you all follow us on Facebook and Instagram, you've been seeing all of the flyers and of all of the, not only the featured authors, but also all of the participating authors. We have flyers for them. And we're also creating videos for groupings of authors. So if you have a particular genre that you is your favorite, you'll be able to see everybody who's going to be an exhibitor in those genres. So we haven't finished doing that. We posted some of them because one, like our children's category is huge this year, bigger than it's ever been. And so that one we're still working on getting all the authors put in that video. And then there's a couple of other genres that we haven't finished yet. And then we also, this year, we're doing something special with the Divine Nine organizations. And so we'll have a video with all the Divine Nine authors who will be exhibitors participating at the festival. And right now, I think we have 20. So including my co-host, because she's a Zeta Phi Beta, as you all know if you watch the show. So I'm not Greek, so I don't. But I think it's great what the Greek organizations do. They do a lot of community service. It creates a sisterhood and a brotherhood, lifelong friendships and relationships, and they do a lot of scholarships and community work. So we're excited to have that as part of our initiative for this year. That's something new we're doing, and we're working on just doing some exciting things for this year and next year. Uh, we're actually already working on next year's featured author roster, and we don't, even though we have a few of them confirmed already, but we don't announce it until after this year's event because we don't want to step on this year. So anyway, we are still waiting. Rhonda is on the phone, I think, with the publicist. So let's see if anybody won the book. Let me take a look and see if we got a winner for the book. Let's look at the responses and see if anybody won. Let's see. And thank you all for being patient. We are normally, everything is precision, and we start right with the first interview. Rhonda, did you have any success?
No, it was really strange. First nobody answered, and then I got a strange language or something.
With the
So I'm gonna
number?
try. Yeah, I'm gonna try again.
Well, she sent me an email this morning. I might need to let me see. Let me first see if anybody won the book. Not yet. So Curtis said hello everyone, but nobody has. So the book that we have, let me do it again, the arc that we have. We're waiting on our first guest to sign in. And it's curious that it hasn't happened yet. But this is Terry McMillan's new book coming out. It's being released a week from today, which is next Tuesday. And it's called It Was the Way She Said It. And the trivia question to win this book is, what is the title of Terry McMillan's previous book that was right before this one, which was a few years ago, but what was the title? And then you can win that. So I am, Rhonda, I'm going to check my email and see if maybe she had a phone number on the email that she sent me this
Well,
morning.
the phone number that unless she maybe sent you a different phone number, the phone number I called from the form
Mm-hmm.
is the one that I was calling, and it doesn't seem to be working, or they're not answering, or maybe they're out of town or something. I don't know.
She said this morning, she sent me an email that everything was as scheduled.
Hmm.
But she doesn't have a phone number on her email. And I don't know how
Okay.
often she might check her messages, but I'm going to email her since the text didn't work. I don't know what's going on. And we
Yeah.
apologize. Our guests are normally, we communicate with every guest 4 times. So that's why we rarely have someone who doesn't show at the time they're supposed to. But things happen. And so
Yep. And then this is live TV.
yeah, it's live. So when it's live, anything can happen. Let's see. So she might, unless she's like sitting on her email, she may not even see this till tomorrow.
Right.
And let me see if I have a, you know what? I have the guest phone number in my phone.
Well, I have sent him a message before on IG and he responded. So let me try that real quick.
Yeah, well, I have his phone number in my phone because of the festival. So let me see. And this is the right number. So I had actually texted him. I forgot that I had his number. So so hopefully he's on his phone. But he has a new book coming out. I think it may be out already. Uh he does Dr. Ian Smith. He writes books about health and eating and weight and things like that. But he also writes fiction. So he has a series of books, and it's this is an Ash Kane novel. So this is the next installment in the series. It's called Beyond Midnight. And we're planning to give this book away. I was going to give it away at the end of the interview. But I'm going to see if I get any response back from my text message, which I haven't gotten yet. So somewhere the signals got crossed because I've been communicating with his publicist for weeks. They contacted us about the book coming out, and wanted to get him on the show to talk about the book. So, have you read any books by him? Any of his mysteries?
I have. I read one of his detective novels last year.
Okay, before the interview.
Right.
Before you interviewed him at the festival.
Right.
So I have one of his books.
I've always been a big fan of his diet and fitness books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I haven't read any. I have one of them, The Ancient Nine. That's one of his popular ones, which I don't think is part of a series. I think it's just an individual book. But
right.
I
I'm
haven't
trying to
read
remember the one that I read. I'm looking it up now.
Okay, I think that it was part of the Ash Kane
series. It was.
Okay. So do we have a winner for the Terry McMillan book? Let's see. And this is one of the challenges, which is not a bad thing. I love the fact that the show's live because of the dynamic that it creates, and it is nothing canned, is nothing edited out. Is what the person says in its raw form, and it's very organic. The conversation is just natural and organic, so that's a good thing. Oh, and D Light said, we know this is a well-oiled machine. That's true. It is. Okay, Dr. Ian signed on. You must have got my text message.
Yay.
So anyway,
and it was
and
the Unspoken that I read.
Okay, Brenda Lane Oliver, you are correct. You got the answer. And so you get your copy of the new Terry McMillan book. So Dr. Ian, welcome to, I don't think he's never been on the show. Welcome to Black Authors Matter TV. You've been to the festival, but this is your first time being a guest on our show.
It is my first time. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And I already
thank you for being here.
A copy of the book the new book that's coming out, and or is it out yet? What was the release
It
date?
came out last week.
Okay, last week. Okay.
Yay!
Well, congratulations
Is
on
that a
that.
standalone or is it part of the
No,
Ash
no,
the
no, it's
Ash
not a
King?
standalone. It's part of the Ash
Okay.
Kane. It's an Ash Kane novel.
Well, I don't think I can read that book yet because I have to read my books in order.
Well, well, it's interesting you say that. So I wrote all the books as standalones so that
Okay.
in case people want to start with the most current book, they can Beyond Midnight. But there are some people who are, idiosyncratic readers. They like to go one to the
Yes.
beginning. So The Unspoken is the first one in the series, but
Yes.
you won't lose anything by starting with Beyond Midnight. Put it that way.
Okay. Well, I read The Unspoken and I enjoyed it. Um, Ash is a little smart mouth something. He always has a little comeback.
Yeah, that's who he is. I mean, he's a very intelligent guy. He's very authentic. He's always who he is, no matter what company he keeps or where he is in the city of Chicago. He's always going to be Ash Kane, and part of that is his wry sense of humor and his sarcasm, and at times his self-deprecation.
Okay. Now,
Mm,
are you from Chicago?
I'm not from Chicago, but I live in Chicago.
Okay. All right. So, because I was thinking you lived in New York, but
I
um,
used to.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
Because normally, like the setting, some people have a setting in a city they don't live in or they've never lived in, but it's easier if the setting is a city that you live in,
and it feels
Well,
more authentic.
unless you
well,
create a fictional city or town, and then it doesn't matter.
that's exactly right. And I've always believed, and I purposely wrote the Ash Kane novel so that Chicago is not just the setting, but it's also a character in the book. I want people to be sensory stimulated by Chicago. So I want them to hear it, see it, smell it, and taste it. So I take these cases because every book is a case that Ash is working on. But I go through all the neighborhoods, whether it's the affluent north side or the gritty south side, or the mix of the west side, downtown to the lake, on the river. I take you everywhere. And I think it's very difficult. I'm not saying you can't do it, but I think that to try to write an actual city that exists and never to have lived there or spent a lot of time there is very difficult. Um, you'd be better off creating your own city and making it up as you go. So
Mm.
I've lived in Chicago for a long time, and so it's my city. I know it. And one of the greatest compliments I get from fellow Chicagoans and from those who've never been to Chicago is when they say, "Wow, I felt like I was in the city, I was at the
Yes.
restaurant, I was in the streets."
Okay,
That's
yeah.
actually a huge compliment because I have read books. I say this a lot on the show. I'm from New Orleans, and I've read books that take place in New Orleans, and it's so obvious sometimes that the author is not from New Orleans and probably was only in New Orleans for Essence Festival or Mardi Gras because they the only places that they reference are these tourist spots, or they make it seem like the characters who are supposed to be locals only go to the French Quarter and eat breakfast at Cafe Du Monde. And I'll tell you that locals, we're not checking for Cafe Du Monde like that. We might go if we have a hankering for it, but we are not going to breakfast there.
Well, and by the way, I've been to Essence Fest a couple of times. I ate at Cafe Du Monde, yes, because you have to do that as a visitor. But
Yeah,
I agree with you. I mean, what I try to do is I want people to see not just the touristy part. So obviously you got to go to
yeah,
Navy Pier in Chicago, Lake Michigan. But I want people to see the parts that the Chicagoans know. You know what I mean? I want to
Mhm,
take you to the South Side, to Jackson Park. I want to take you to
mhm.
Hyde Park. I want to take you to these different places that people don't often talk about. Everyone talks about the Magnificent Mile and all the expensive shopping on Michigan Avenue. But my goodness, that's a sliver of Chicago, just a sliver.
okay,
Yeah,
Sliver, you're right about that.
yeah. And it's true that you do need to spend time. Uh, you need to have spent some time in the city that you're describing. I have a two-part novel series, and for the second part, well, I live in Houston, so this both books takes place in Houston. But for the second book, I wanted to um, have a location and an excerpt And so I just like randomly went online to find something like 70 miles, 50 to 70 miles from Houston. And then I said, you know what? I have to go visit this place because I can't just Google it. So we took a day to go to this little town, Brookshire. Um, and so I could describe it, and I recorded myself going down different streets. It's a real small little place. But they have um interestingly, three major companies have like warehouses there or distribution places. So that was interesting. Amazon was one of them. And then I think Igloo, and I forgot what the other one was. But anyway, I had to get in the car and go and spend a day there. And then I was able to write about the trip there, like what I passed along the way and like different places. So it is important because it's important to really be an authentic story. You really do have to spend some
Even for
time there.
me, even for me, I've been in Chicago for many, many years. And even for me, in a city that I live in and travel the streets all the time, if I'm writing about a particular neighborhood that I'm not overly familiar with, I get into the car, I go to that neighborhood, and I just drive around, I sit, I look,
Good
I try to
idea.
feel the neighborhood. You have to do it.
Yes.
So what kind of adventures is Mr. Ash getting into right now?
So this is the case of a undocumented worker is found
Hmm.
on the rocks and the shores of Lake Michigan. And the police have called it an accidental drowning. And the book opens up with a young guy who's also a caddy, a golf caddy, works at a golf country club. It opens up with the golf guy coming to Ash saying, listen, the police are saying that my uncle drowned, and there's no way he could have drowned accidentally because, number one, my uncle didn't know how to swim. And number two, he was deathly afraid of water. He would never go near the water. So the fact that he was found on the banks of Lake Michigan does not register. And Ash, being Ash, never wants to take a case, but he takes the case because of his true love, which is golf, and because this kid is a really good golfer, and they do a swap. Ash says, I will take on your uncle's case if you give me some tips on my golf swing, and the journey begins.
Oh, okay.
Oh
Now
my
I have a
God.
question about your switching roles in your books. You have the books that deal with health and wellness and eating and lifestyle, exercising. And then you have the mystery series. So it's like one side of the brain versus the other side of the brain. And now you are a doctor of what?
So I'm a physiatrist, not psychiatrist, but I'm a rehab doctor, physiatry.
Okay. All right.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're what made you start writing mysteries?
I've always loved mysteries. I've always read them since I was young. I've always wanted to write them. It's just that the other part of my life got in the way, going to medical school, becoming a doctor, going on TV, all these great things, by the way. But the health books were a natural offshoot of what I was doing in my career,
Mm.
most of my career. And so obviously everyone looked at me as the medical guy and the health guy and wellness guy. And so I did it. But predating that, I always read fiction and read mysteries and thrillers. And so I always had an inkling inside of me. One day I want to write a great detective series like Robert Parker and Boston wrote Spencer, for example. And so I finally got to the point in my career where I'd written so many of the health books, they had been very successful, that I basically twisted the arm of my publisher and said, listen, if you want another health book, you got to publish one of my mysteries.
And
And
see, that's
so
when you know you're successful. You can
Yeah,
have that type of leverage.
right.
I had some leverage. I had some leverage. And so that's how it began.
Is it kind of like taking a break? Can you almost like maybe decompress when you're kind of totally departing from medicine for a while?
I got to tell you, it is so enjoyable to go back and forth because it really fulfills both sides of my brain. Everyone thinks that doctors are just these nerdy science geeks who only think about medicine and health and biology and chemistry. It's not true. Doctors are human beings. We drive cars, we watch TV shows, we go to the movies, we read books that are not medical books. So for me, I'm a creative. I love creating. I've always loved to create. So it's wonderful for me when I'm writing. For example, I just finished writing a book on menopause. And I'm going to have my good friend Rachel Ray do the recipe. So it's basically helping women
Ooh.
treat their menopause or try to alleviate some of their symptoms through eating. And so I just finished that book. Now I'm writing Ash Kane again. And so it's wonderful because now my brain is completely free and flowing with ideas and just creating stuff. And so yes, it's a great kind of reprieve or release to be able to go into a world of fiction and just create what I want.
Well, maybe in a future book, you can have Ash Kane have a client who's a menopausal woman, and
Her name is Rhonda.
and something, some kind of storyline, so you can kind of weave those two together.
Everyone has said that to me. I don't know why I haven't done it. Now that I've heard it again, I just got to do it. They said, why don't you ever like put one of the characters on one of your diets?
Yeah.
Really that's a great commercial for your diets.
I know. So
Well, you could change the name of the dietitian or the doctor in the book. It wouldn't necessarily be you, because that probably
right.
wouldn't
But it'll
work.
be his diet,
It'll
though.
be his diet. It'll be your diet.
So I'm working on that. The one I'm working on now, this book, the next Ash Kane, I'm really excited about. It's mostly based on Mechanic. Mechanic is Ash Kane's right-hand man. He's a Lithuanian guy, very tough, very violent. And a lot of people, particularly my cousin, have asked me, why can't you give Mechanic more action in the books? We love him, more action. So this next book is all about Mechanic, and it's about some issues that he's trying to solve. And so Ash and Mechanic are working together to deal with a mechanic issue. So it's going to be a lot of physicality. It's going to be a lot of shooting. It's going to be a lot of slapping. It's going to be a lot.
A lot of action.
Yes. And so I'm having fun time just writing it because Mechanic is a very different character than Ash. You know, Ash is very verbose, talks a lot, as you said, sarcastic, likes to crack a joke at inopportune times, and Mechanic says nothing. Mechanic speaks with two things, his gun and his fist. And so it's fun writing this because now I can kind of bring this character more to life.
Oh, okay. Kind of like the guy in The Godfather. The one that they said if he had sold out, they were really in trouble.
That's right.
And he didn't, he was a man of few words. I can't think of his name. He does have a violent death, but there's a lot of violent deaths in Godfather.
But also when you think of Mouse for in the Easy Rollins.
That's what I thought about when you said that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, one of these great series, the Easy Rollins series, he's like Mouse. Mouse is like that.
Yeah, Mouse has a very famous line. He said, well, if you didn't want me to kill him, why'd you leave me alone with him?
Now that is a great line. That's the kind of stuff that you got to respect that. You got to respect that. That's great writing right there.
Mm-hmm. Now, before we go, because we're at the end of our time, because our segment was cut short. But that's okay. I'm glad that you were able to, I remembered that I had your number, and that's I had totally forgotten that I did.
I messaged you on Instagram. I was like, he gonna answer.
You know what happened? In all honesty, I'm here in LA now. I'm in a hotel room, but I was flying into LA. I'm on book tour, and the flight was late. And trying to drive up, I was just running late.
Oh, okay. And so you're in a different time zone
altogether. That's why it's still daylight where he is.
Different. Yeah. So we are going to be in touch about next year. We have something special that we're thinking about, wanting to run it by you, and just be on the lookout.
Okay. Listen, I'm always looking to do something new, so please let me know.
Okay, we'll do. Well, thank you so much, and congratulations on your book release. And I am going to get started with your books, but with Ancient Nine, that's the one I'm going to do.
Yeah, my Harvard Secret Society book. Let me just say before I go, I created something really fun. I created a $1,000 giveaway for the first person who can solve 4 clues. There are 4 sets of clues, 4 answers. It's on my Instagram page at Dr. Ian Smith, spell the doctor out, I-A-N Smith, and on my Facebook page. And there are 4 sets of clues related to Beyond Midnight. Whoever's the first person to get all 4 right, they get $1,000. So I figured let people have some fun trying to be a detective like Ash Kane.
Oh, okay.
Now
Well,
that is fun.
mhm.
I
Yeah,
love
that's
that.
an assignment that gives me some encouragement to maybe read the books out of order. So, so anyway, thank you so much for being a guest on the show, and again, congratulations, and we'll be in touch.
Thanks, guys. Nice talking to you. Take
Nice
care.
talking with you. Thank you,
All
Dr.
right.
Ian.
Yep. See you.
Yeah, traveling now is just it's like a bugbear. It's
Hmm.
especially with these flights, they don't, you might end up getting somewhere a day late and all that. It's very challenging. So anyway, we're moving right along. Now, I am going to give this book away, but I wanted to wait because one, the interview was short, but also the clue, the trivia question, I want to wait till after this next interview because he did mention it during the interview, and I wanted to be some time so people will possibly not remember. So anyway, um, our next guest is someone that Rhonda and I have known for a long time. We both individually have known Curtis Bunn for a long time. And we saw him a month ago in Atlanta at the National Book Club Conference. That was our first time, both of us attending, and we enjoyed ourselves very much. And I know how it is to put a major event on, a big event, and to keep it going for years. And I'm going to find out how Curtis does his. And well, we did talk at the event about how exhausting it is. so,
Well,
so
well,
um,
I've got to just give Curtis his flowers though, because you've been doing this event for over 20 years, and as long as I can remember, this event has always sold out.
Hmm.
I mean, and that's amazing. And it sells out months ahead of time. This It's not one of those events that sells out at the last minute. It always sells out months ahead of time. And this is something that people look forward to, and some people even sign up before they leave the prior year. So you're doing something right.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you all for having me. Good to see you again. So
yeah,
glad
we
that
didn't give you our welcome to Black Authors Matter
Oh
TV.
no, we just started giving you
Yeah,
your
we just
flowers.
started talking because we've known you so long. It's, it's a natural conversation. But
sure.
welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Good to be here. You know, it's I'm glad you all do this. I think it's very important that we acknowledge authors, and through your National Black Book Festival and the National Book Club Conference and other venues, we are celebrating authors, and we're celebrating literature, and we're celebrating readers, and um, it's probably more important now than it ever has been since we started doing this kind of work with the administration challenging everything Black. So let's keep it going.
Yeah, it's important to keep it going as a natural thing, not necessarily in response to something.
Right.
Because when it's in response to something, then once the emotion and the energy dissipates, then people abandon it. And so
Mhm.
this is something that we always need. And it's a great place where people can just come together, and people who love books and
Mhm.
love reading and love authors and love the atmosphere. A book event is different from other types of events
Mhm.
in terms of just the atmosphere, the people, the
Yeah,
energy.
no doubt. 4 days after this was the 21st National Book Club Conference. 4 days later, I went to the National Association of Black Journalists Convention in Cleveland. I'm a journalist. I write for NBC News, and I'm a journalist first, and of course, written 10 novels, 11 novels, and three nonfiction books. But um, the National Association of Black Journalists Convention was good, but it did not have the feel of family like when you have a bunch of like-minded
That's
readers
true.
together.
That's
Mhm.
very true.
And that was probably the one thing that surprised me in 2003 when we had the first National Book Club Conference. Just the spirit of the people who came was just so warm and wonderful and comforting. And the next year, it felt like a family reunion because so many people had returned for the second conference, and they knew each other and they became friends. And some of the authors became friends with some of the readers in book clubs. And it's been far more than I expected from that standpoint. I knew the notion of bringing readers and authors together was a positive one that would be beneficial, but the idea that the folks really loved each other and had this common bond through books and through the love and respect of authors that made it so much more special than I could have imagined.
Now, Rhonda and I both wanted to know what gave you the idea to do this conference,
Well,
National Book Club Conference?
yeah, I wrote my first book in 2000. It's called Baggage Check. It's about three friends who like each other, love each other, but in relationships they have troubles because they carry baggage from one relationship to the next. And I started meeting with book clubs, and I left those book club meetings feeling so spirited and uplifted, like I do when I leave church, like I was better for the experience. Because we laughed, we talked. It may not have been as much fun if they didn't enjoy the book, but in that case, they enjoyed the book. So we had a great time talking about the characters and the process of writing. And it just struck me one day that somebody needs to do something to bring readers and authors together in a way that's much more than standing in lines at that time in Barnes and Noble or Borders, Books A Million, get your book signed, take a quick picture, and you're off. Let's bring these readers together. And I told a friend that, and he didn't get it. He was with a young lady. Neither one of them got it. And it really disturbed me. I'm like, I know I'm not crazy, but it also inspired me. And the other thing that inspired me was that when I wrote my book, I was trying to get some publicity and I couldn't get anybody to do anything. Essence ignored me. And even I worked for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution at the time, and even my own newspaper wouldn't write anything. I think Ebony Magazine ended up writing 2 paragraphs about it, saying it was a great, entertaining, fun read. And it struck me that when Terry McMillan comes up with a new book, or Eric Jerome Dickey, or one of the very popular authors, they, in essence, it was right there front and center. And I'm like, where's the idea of supporting authors that you don't know? I mean, what about
Right.
discovering authors?
Mhm.
And so that was the second part to what inspired me to create the conference, attending those book club meetings and really enjoying them. And then also saying, let's create a platform where we can get authors who are talented but may not be as popular, a venue where they can be in front of readers that really take books seriously and are conscientious readers. And so that was the origin. And I started, and then about 8 months later, that same guy who said he didn't think it was a good idea, 8 months later he came to me. He's like, that book club thing may have some legs. I'm like, yeah, it's happening next month. He was shocked. He was shocked. So, but yeah, I think we are all inspired by our own experiences, and that those two experiences for me made me feel like somebody needed to do something. And if somebody needs to do it, why don't I do it? And I had no idea though. I still be doing it in 2000. What is this? 25. Like you can believe that.
Yeah, now, and it's really good to hear the backstory
Hmm.
about how you got started. And then, so my next question is, uh, how have you been able to keep it going? Like, what is some of the ups and some of the, I won't say downs, challenges in
Challenges.
keeping it going?
Well, the challenges is just that, first of all, it's a lot of work. It's almost like they say you take a year to plan a wedding. So, it's 400. We're looking at 400 people now. I've leveled it off to 400 over the last several years, but in 2008, 9, 10, 11, we were 600, 700, as much as almost 800. And that
Oh,
was just way, way too many people. It lost the intimacy that was really a part of the charm of the weekend, where you can have a bunch of people together and still spend time with authors and each other and not feel crowded and rushed. And so
Right,
six,
right.
7, 8 years ago, I trimmed it and capped it at about 400, which is still a large number, but much more workable. And you still have a feel of that it's not a flea market kind of deal, but more like a festival and family reunion.
I
Um,
would say more family reunion than festival. It
mm-hmm,
didn't feel like a
yeah,
festival at all. It
right.
really felt,
mm-hmm,
because we were seeing familiar faces. We were seeing people that we only knew on social media, and then we
Mhm.
finally got to go face to face with them, and it just felt different. So it
Yeah,
just really felt like a reunion more than anything
yeah.
else.
I think you're right, and I've been surprised by, as I mentioned, just how I knew the readers would get along, but the readers and the authors have enjoyed it as much or more than the readers. I mean, the authors love to come and and they become friends with readers. And you go down to the lounge in the lobby, and they're sitting there with readers that they just met or met years and years, a few years before at the conference. But some of the challenges were in the beginning, in particular, is like just getting somebody to come, some readers to come, authors to come first to commit. Nobody really knew who I was. That book I wrote, Baggage Check, ended up becoming #1 on the Essence bestsellers list. So Essence began, Essence that was ignoring me they were now calling me
You had
trying
to
to,
prove yourself, Curtis.
yeah, I guess so. It worked out fine. So now I said I wanted to have this idea. So who do I want to come? And so I thought about one of my favorite authors at the time, and still is, was Walter Mosley. And so I reached out to him. I don't even remember how I ended up getting to him, but he said, "I like it. I'm count me in," and that just legitimized everything. So then when I reached out to Kimberly Lawson Roby, I can say, Walter Mosley's coming. So she would say, "Okay, I feel comfortable. I've seen your name, but I don't know you. But if Walter Mosley's going to be there, it must be legit." And I did the same with Trisha Thomas, Victoria Christopher Murray, Omar Tyree, Lalita Tatamy was there that first year. And we had a really strong lineup. Nathan McCall, who had written a best-selling book, who went to college with me at the great Norfolk State University.
Yes, I read
That's,
his
and that's
book.
something I wanted to mention to you. I'm from Newport News.
Oh,
When I
really?
saw that in your bio, I said, I need to tell him that
Never knew
yeah, I
that.
had a
Yeah,
lot of people I grew up with that went to Norfolk State.
I bet. I bet.
Mhm.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
used to fly into that airport in Newport News sometimes before, I guess, AirTran was going through there years back from
Oh
Atlanta.
shoot, I forgot about AirTran. That was a
Right.
Well,
long time ago.
it used to be Eastern a long time ago.
Wow.
Eastern
Yeah.
Airlines was
Hmm.
the main airline, and then they
Yeah.
got bought or merged or with
Yeah.
somebody,
Merged
but
with
it
someone.
used to be a
Mhm.
lot of small airlines, and then now it's
Mhm.
just a few big ones. But anyway, so
Mhm.
go ahead.
Yeah, so the challenge, that was the first challenge in the first year. After that, the word started to spread a little bit. I've never paid for any advertisement. It's always been word of mouth. And so that's why every year we have 100 readers who say that I can't believe this is my first time coming. I never heard of it before. So we just use word of mouth to spread the word. But then it went from that to now I have to manage what authors to come because now almost all the authors want to come. We've had
Mhm.
everyone, we've had, quite a success over the last 22, 21 years of getting really big name authors and celebrity authors and authors who were on the come up who became really, really talent, showed their talent and really emerged onto the scene.
Mhm.
So now it's really, I have to be very intentional and conscientious about making sure that I have a balanced selection of authors who um, represent several genres, whose books will fit the crowd that we have. And what I've learned is that these readers are, I mean, you guys know this probably as well as I do. These ladies are something else. I mean, they read everything and they are
Mhm.
serious and they know the characters and they know the authors. And um, I know some of them in 2 and 3 and 4 book clubs at a time. I'm like, how could you possibly do that? But
Yeah, I'm in two.
wow.
I'm in two. Cause City has its own book club that we started when we opened the
Yeah,
store in
right.
2000. And then I'm in a book club with my at my church.
Mm-mm-mm.
So
Well,
I'm an avid reader. So
Yeah.
but I still, because of the show, I get
Mhm.
exposed to so many books and so many authors that
Yeah.
now my to be
well,
read
one
shelf is
thing
packed.
one thing I think is special about the event, and because I'm looking at the comments, and there, you have Tony Bonita who's been there 16 of 20 of the 21 years.
Hmm.
But then you have the Social Book Club who's never heard about the event before. But
Right.
one thing I think is very special that I didn't even know you did was the awards that you give to the book clubs.
Yes.
Not just for reading the most books or anything like that, but
Mhm.
for community service and community impact. And
Hmm.
I think that kind of makes it even more special because the book clubs are like, okay, we're going out there, we want to win an award.
Yeah, from the very first year we gave awards out. And I think it's just important. What I've learned also in meeting with book clubs in 2000 was that these ladies get together because of the books, but the relationships that they build and what they do is what keeps them together. And so
Yes.
they go to these homeless shelters, they donate clothes or coats or whatever, they read to kids, they do so much. And I like to acknowledge that. And I'm hoping that some book clubs who just get together to drink and have fun, and which is nothing wrong with that, maybe they'll be inspired seeing these ladies come on stage and hearing about what they do. And I've heard from
Right.
book clubs who said, we didn't do anything until we came to the conference, and now we are doing stuff in the community because we can make an impact, and we all in some way can make an impact that is significant. And you mentioned Tony Bonita. Look, Tony
Mhm.
came I guess about 15, 16 years ago. We're friends now. I mean, so many of these ladies are, I see them and it's like family. And I feel like I gain a couple dozen every year. So my friend list has extended exponentially since 2000. And I really feel good about that. Never anticipated that as part of what would take place.
Yeah, and Tony's also a regular viewer of the show, like every single week,
Hmm.
and for 5 years. I think she might have been watching our first show. I don't know, but she's an avid reader and viewer
Yeah,
and
great
contributor.
supporter. Yes.
Contributor. The thing
Yeah.
about book clubs is book clubs have avid readers,
Hmm.
people who really kind of devour books, and that's different from the occasional reader
Yes.
or you know a person who might read one book a year or something like that. it's
Hmm.
it's a totally different kind of reader, and the the way that you uh, have the book clubs in the different rooms. I
Hmm.
didn't get to go in those rooms because we had the vendor table, but I could see they when they would come out, they would talk about each session that they went
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
So this, it's a great formula. Now you also travel with your the book club conference people, and you've gone out of the country several times. And I think don't you have something coming up next year?
Yeah. So I want to go back to one thing before I get to that
Okay.
about the book clubs and how they're different readers. And one of the elements that I will reinstate for next year was a panel discussion called "Maximizing Your Book Club Experience," where book club members, 4 or 5 book club members, will be on a panel where they talk about how they run their meetings, how they do community service work, how they pick their books, whether they collect dues, because every book club operates differently. I've learned
Yes.
that going to so many, some people have a lot of food, some people have snacks, some people, you just get right into it. Some people say, let's
Right.
socialize. So there are all these
Mhm.
different methods. And the readers got so much out of that, hearing about how phenomenal women of color, that's Tony's book club in Jacksonville, do things differently from a book club in Atlanta or even in another book club in Jacksonville. So I think that's an element I really wanted to get back to. We kind of lost track of it because sponsorship has have been a good part lately. Publishers have realized the value of it because their authors are going back and saying, "Hey, we really need to be a part of this." And so, as part of their sponsorship package, they get a certain number of authors depending on the level. So that's maxed up. It's really taking up some of the time. But we want to definitely get that panel back in. I'm going to institute that panel for Saturday morning, lock it in, and we're going to work around it. Um, so I just wanted to say that because I think that's critical, and it's people talked about how much they learn from those sessions, and maybe incorporate one thing that somebody else does, and they may incorporate from another book club. So it enhances everybody's reading experience and how they operate. But for the 5 year anniversary, we went to Ghana, West Africa in 2005, had an amazing experience. And then we said, we'll go somewhere again 5 years later. And so the 10th, we went to Johannesburg and Cape Town, South Africa.
Okay.
Another incredible experience. And we in Ghana, we had two Ghanaian authors. Um,
Oh,
uh,
wonderful.
Yeah.
the woman who played Whoopi Goldberg's sister in The Color Purple, Acacia Busi or something like that. Her and her sister were both authors, and they were there. And so we read their books and talked about their books. And then in South Africa, we had an author named Maxine Case who came and talked about her book, which was great.
Mm.
But the people who travel with us was like, we need to do this more often. 5 years is too infrequent. So we started we started doing it every other year. And so we went to Italy in 2015. We went to Spain in 2017. Italy, we went to Venice, Florence, and Rome. Spain, we went to Seville, Madrid, Barcelona. Then we went to Greece, which was Crete, Mykonos, Santorini, Athens.
I was really mad that I missed all of this.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
You
went.
I
about to
didn't.
be sick.
I only heard about a few of the trips. I didn't hear about the European
Yeah.
ones. I
Curtis, you
only heard
about to
Yeah.
be
about
sick of me.
the
Yep. We went to Morocco and Portugal, and we went last year. We went to
mountains.
France, to Paris, Monaco, Seville, Nice. I mean Nice, Normandy. It was spectacular. So next year we're going to South America, Argentina,
Okay.
and Brazil. And then we'll decide in the next year where we're going to go in 2028.
So you all do this separate from the conference.
It's separate from the conference, yes. And we
Okay.
don't do books, but we always what we do is that we incorporate Black history in all of these places. Most of the places that have
Mm.
a history, most places around the world, we are
Yeah.
involved in. And so
Hmm.
we visited Black Paris last summer. We
Oh, that's
visited,
awesome.
yeah. So um, there's a great history in South America about Black people coming from Africa, taking Brazil was a big location where
Hmm.
enslaved Africans were dropped off. So we'll do some tours there as well. But it's a great opportunity, lots of fun for sure.
It's a great way for authors to get to know book clubs. Because when I first became an author, book clubs were everywhere. You couldn't throw a rock without hitting a book club.
Yeah,
And even though their book clubs are still active now, they're not as visible as they used to be. So to some people, it may seem like the book clubs aren't a thing anymore. But then you come to an event like this, where you still see the book clubs coming together. You still see them out there supporting authors, and you know that they're still active. They're just moving a little bit differently.
yeah. Some book clubs dissolve over personal reasons. There was a big book club in Birmingham called In the Company of 12. The 12 ladies would come and they had their shirts and then I noticed that they weren't there one year and I reached out just to make sure everybody was okay. It's like, well, we had some deaths in the families and some this and that. And
Hmm.
eventually the group dissolved. But so many of these book clubs have been together for many, many years,
Mhm.
even longer than the conference. And a lot of times the entire book club doesn't come. Maybe a portion of the book club will come, but they always tell me, well, those who aren't here, we're sending them pictures and we're making them jealous. They'll be back they'll come with us next year. So yeah.
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 So, is there anything? Oh, there are situations where you are presented with an author to consider,
Hmm.
and because I reached out to you a few years ago about an author, I won't say, and you said you polled your
Oh, I know what you're
members.
talking about.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, we won't say.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and they didn't um have an interest in seeing this person. So I thought that was interesting that you polled your your
Yeah.
attendees.
What I've done is really made this not just about really about the people who come, and the readers are the ones who kind of generate it. So the last session of every conference I have, when I sit and I talk to them about the weekend, what you like, what you didn't like, how we can improve, what elements can we add, what can we take away, because I want them to, I want them to feel a part of it. So if you read my newsletters, I'm always asking their opinions because I don't want to strong arm anybody. I want to make sure that we get a consensus about how things should work. In that case, that author was in a sort of a quandary in his life. It was a male, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, so Tony might have been one of the people, but I know Ebony Evans at ICU Book Reading Network in Detroit and a couple of others who I trust. I reached out to, and they said, "No, I don't know at this time because of the nature of his family and and what he had done." So in any case, I trust the readers. It's their event, it's not mine. And I want to make sure that we're doing the right things for them when we're putting it together. And I certainly don't want the man to be there and be shunned. I
Right.
don't know how much you could hear, but I constantly talk to about making sure that you go and support at least 7 authors that you don't know.
I
That's
Right. I
noticed that
saw
you
that in your
actually put that,
newsletter.
yeah, you put that in the
Mm-hmm.
instructions to go and
yeah,
support authors that you don't know.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've done a book signing before where I'm sitting there, you get somebody to come in and sign a book every, 10 minutes or something. It's not a good feeling. And
Mm-hmm.
so these authors, in a lot of cases, are traveling. They're all talented. And um, to the credit of the attendees, they dug in on this. And in the post-conference survey, I asked, did you enjoy the 7 authors or whatever number you visited that you didn't know? And the only response that was 100% was that one. They enjoyed these authors that they didn't know. And so you talking about Gwen, you talking about your to read list. Now people have built their to read lists in their library because they've met these new authors. And that's the element when I said earlier, you know, getting readers and authors together was important, but the other one was giving readers, introducing them to authors that they may not know, because Walter Mosley's room is going to be packed. Kim Roby's room
Right.
is going to be packed, and deservedly so. So I need
Mhm.
them to get the readers there, but while they're there, I want them to go out and explore and stretch themselves, and they have done that great in a wonderful way, and they're benefiting from it. And the authors leave feeling uplifted, and the readers leave feeling like, wow, I'm so glad I went in there and I met this new author I'd never heard of before.
Right. Well, Rhonda and I are planning to return next year.
Great.
So I need to take care of that by the end of the week because I know that those vendor spots
Yeah,
get
and
snapped.
actually, I was going to ask the same thing because we already said your event sells out quickly, not just your book, your authors and your book clubs, but also vendors. They sell out quickly, so
Yeah.
people need to get on it right now, probably.
Yeah, nationalbookclubconference.com. It's a remarkable thing. We had at least 70 people who paid for the next year at the conference, and they didn't even know who the authors were going to be yet. So that's the
Mm-hmm.
confidence that they have entrusted in me, that we're going to make sure, I'm going to make sure that they're fulfilled. And we already have Sadiqa Johnson, we already have Kimberly Lawson Rowe, we already have Tayari Jones, we already have Will Haygood, who wrote The Butler. We're adding a movie night
Mm.
this year.
Oh,
Right. I
Next
that'll
saw
be
year.
fun.
that. I saw that. And
Yes,
Will Haygood is the one you were doing the Butler.
yes,
You're gonna watch the Butler. Now, is
yes,
it gonna be like you watch the movie and then you have a discussion afterwards with the
yes,
author? Is that what
yes.
you're
We're
gonna
gonna
do?
watch it in the ballroom, have
Okay.
popcorn and food, and then Will is gonna be there and he's gonna discuss how it all came together and
Okay.
any questions we have for him.
Well,
That's
that's
fun.
that's a nice added feature.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's important to keep your event, fresh where it doesn't get stale. Like
that's right.
you do
That's
new
right.
things, try to do something new every year, or at least every other year. But
Yeah,
and have a good rotation of authors, your featured people as well.
yeah, yeah. And generally, authors do not come back to back years. The featured authors don't come
Right.
back years. We bring in more because if you
Mhm.
were there and you saw them this year, you don't, we want to keep it fresh, as you
Right.
said. So,
Mhm.
um, that's the part of the process I'm going through now. A couple of big announcements tomorrow on some authors. There's who are really talented. So we're gonna keep it going in a way in which people leave feeling better for the experience. That's all we can ask. That's all I can ask for. Yeah.
Okay, so if people want to learn more about the event, if they want their book clubs to possibly attend, how do they find out or sign up for that to attend? And
The
what is the
website is,
process for a book club as far as the deposit and then when is the balance due?
yeah, all that information is right there, readily available at nationalbookclubconference.com. Nationalbookclubconference.com. It's all the authors, picture videos. The itinerary obviously isn't set yet, but all the
Right.
registration information I'm going to have this week. The hotel information added. We're at the Westin and Buckhead part of Atlanta, which is very nice. Great location. There's shopping and food, and we get a discounted rate. So that's going to go up this week as well on the website. And I'm just slowly putting it together as always, but looking forward to it. Definitely fatigued when it's over, but also rejuvenated, after a few days to really get started to make sure next year can be better than the previous year.
And I'm
Well,
sure it will be because you're moving in excellence. And
Thank you, Rhonda.
yeah, I think
I give you all
the
the
gala
flowers
at
for
the
that.
end is really, really nice with the red
Oh yes,
carpet and
I
that
love the
where we
gala,
get to
the
dress
guest,
up.
yeah, the guest speakers, the
Yeah,
dressing up, the
Mhm.
award. It's a great event,
Yes.
and congratulations. And I'm looking forward to coming back.
thank you, Rhonda. And thank you, Gwen. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad you all were there, and I'm glad you're coming back. And we're gonna make it happen. And I have to get back down to Houston to your event at some point soon. I got a new book I'm finishing up, so
Okay.
um, maybe next year.
Okay. All right.
Your event
Well,
is in October?
yes, the end
Yeah.
of October. It's
Okay.
always the end of October. So yeah,
Cool.
and we do the same thing. We don't have the same authors every year. In fact, it might be 5 years before somebody repeats. We try to keep it fresh with new people.
I get
Um,
it.
yeah.
I
So
get it.
anyway, thank you so much for being a guest. You will hear from me before the end of the week about our vending for next year. And
Sounds great.
yeah, so we look forward to coming back. Oh, is it at the same hotel?
It's at the same hotel.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
All right. Well,
You ladies are wonderful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate
thank
it.
you. You have a great
okay.
night, Curtis.
You all as well. See you soon.
Bye.
Okay.
All right.
Good
Bye-bye.
night. Oh, okay. So if there's any people in book clubs out there that want a book club, this is specifically a book club event. Is everybody who comes is in a book club. So that makes it different from just a regular event where some book clubs come. Everyone who attends, and there's a fee to attend because you get a lot of stuff for the whole week and weekend. So, but it's a great event, and he's been doing it for 20 today. This year was his 21st year, so that's a long time. We're having our 18th anniversary this year, and it takes a lot
I'm just
of work.
celebrating my 10th. I'm a baby.
Yeah, well, it takes a lot of work to keep things going.
It
You
does.
have to keep it fresh and you have to continue to innovate and all that. So, anyway, we're continuing on. And as I had mentioned last week, our lineup tonight, we have all males in our lineup, and they're all new to the show. Every person who's on the show tonight is a first time guest. So, Russell Andrews is no different. He is I don't know if he writes other than children's books. He'll let us know that. But he's a finalist for the Black Authors Matter Children's Book Awards that we do. And he has an interesting book called Shoes. And it's for age 13 plus, I think. So anyway, Russell, welcome to Black Authors Matter TV.
Thank you. I'm honored and nervous at the same time.
Oh, no,
Well,
no
you
need
look
to be
happy to be
nervous.
here, though. I love the
Yeah,
smile.
you got a big old
Um,
smile.
I'm happy to be anywhere. Yeah.
So,
So
show us your book cover. You have your book handy.
Well, there, hold it up a little bit higher.
Yeah, a little bit higher. Okay, so we can see the bottom. So your title is Shoes,
No,
and
I'm
obviously it's
picking
about
up the word.
basketball. Uh,
Well, that's the hook. It is
okay,
it is it's not about basketball, but
okay,
basketball is the young boy's dream. But it's
okay.
about his life and his journey. And I have to tell you that I don't know him. I met he and his family in a Salvation Army in 1986. It was at 4340 Griggs Road in Houston. And I saw
When
the
you
family.
said Griggs Road, I was like, I'm in Houston, so that's where I live.
I'm from Houston.
You're from Houston? Okay, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I born in Huntsville, but I've
Okay,
lived in actually all over Houston, but I grew up in South Park.
okay, all right,
And so this Salvation Army and right next door was it used to be a Leaners across the street, and there was a S&H green stamps right next door. Yeah, that's how old I am. And
yeah, I remember the S&H green stamps. I was a
yeah,
kid, but for people who don't know, the grocery stores would give you these stamps, and you would
yeah,
have a book that you like. It's like a postage stamp. They were like postage
yes.
stamps, and you would have a book that you kept them in to accumulate the stamps.
To
And then
get
I think they had a
whatever.
catalog or
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah.
And then
And,
you could get neat stuff.
oh, and it, listen, we
So
were
my
regulars.
mom had an S&H stamp. I haven't thought about that in many years. My mom kept those.
We had those, and we were regulars at both stores. So real talk, and I say that with pride as well. Um, I was at this particular Salvation Army when I saw this family come in, a single mom and her three kids, the oldest of them being a young man she called Junior. And he's Junior in my book because I don't know his name. And she is Mama in the book. And his siblings, I gave my niece and nephew's names because I didn't know them. But what happened is I followed them around the store for about an hour because I was so captivated by them and the young man's dignity. It reminded me of my brother and I and my mom when we would go, but they were there in their shopping that day in the Salvation Army like it was Macy's or Foley's or whatever we're used to at home.
Yeah.
And it turns out that they were shopping because the mom was getting married the next day. So it's,
Oh,
sometimes the creator will grab you in your collar and
mhm.
he'll say, Russell, you have to. I was young, working at the prison, a little on the arrogant side, and I needed some humility. I wasn't a horrible man, but I was just young. But watching this little boy and over this hour and a half, hearing what the story was, the mom's getting married. The young boy was burned in a fire. He always wanted to have a pair of Converse, but because of the injuries, he had to wear these black boots. And so all the kids in the hood called him shoes, right? But he
Mm.
has this dream of playing ball. And it turns out that there was an old pair of Chucks, what we call them, on the on the shoe rack. And he kept going back, and his mom was shopping for curtains and little dress for his sister. It was something blowing my mind. I was so humble, and I'm always emotional anyway. So I had to hide behind the coats and stuff, and I was being a voyeur. And it turns out that the little boy, Junior, tried on the shoe. It didn't fit. He took off a sock to the other foot. Still didn't fit, but he loved them. But they were so worn, so beat up, that they had on the bottom of them, ladies, on the bottom, it was marked NC. I didn't know what it was. Junior didn't, but he took him up to the counter. And his mom said, well, baby, I can't get them. We don't have the money. I promise I'm going to do something nice for you, blah, blah. I'm watching this, wiping my eyes, grown man. And he took him back. And when he got back, there was an old man who worked in the store. And he said, did you look at the bottom? He said, yeah. I said, you see what it says? He says, yeah. It says NC. He says, do you know what that means? He says, no. He said, it means no charge.
Mm.
It was over for me. I mean, I was. So it was, the little boy was so excited and he was about to leave. And the old man in the store reached in his pocket and he said, Junior. And Junior stopped. And I'm thinking, hell, I just learned his name. How do you know? He said, every basketball player needs new laces. And he gave them to him. And so Junior he already had a limp because of whatever the prior injury was. House fire. His father died in the fire. These are real people. Mm-hmm. And I was blessed, if not fortunate, to be able to hear these stories between the mom and the woman behind the counter, and Junior telling the older gentleman why he had to wear the boots. And I'm like, oh my God. That is the story. The basketball is because that's what Junior wanted. To be able to be like the rest of the kids and play ball and do these things and have some chucks, which back in the day were the shoes for me.
Right.
Right. And so ultimately, I take that journey in the book because I didn't know how they got there. So all of the chapters leading up to that were me and my brother because I lived that life. My mom was a domestic, and we would meet her at the bus stop when she was coming from across town, and we'd go to Woolworth, downtown. You from Houston. It used to
I'm
be,
not from Houston, but go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I live in Houston, but I'm not from Houston.
We would meet her downtown, and we would ride the bus back home with her, and the bus to church, and the bus to everywhere. So all of these moments in the book, I had to get Junior to the store, and it ends up that every moment is a true beat. But the blessing was seeing Junior and his mom on that day in the Salvation Army somewhere that was familiar to me. And I never wanted to write it to sell it. It's been 38 years.
Yeah, I was wondering what you held on to this story for so long.
Well, again, I didn't want to write it to sell it. I just didn't want to forget them. So I've held the story for years, but COVID hit. I'm an actor out here in Los Angeles. And so we were down for 3 years. And so I decided I'll finish it. It had always been there. I just had to put it together. And again, the story is bigger than me. And I had to back away from it to come to it. I had a friend of mine who was a tremendously famous writer I remember he saying that, kind of back up and listen to your characters and let them speak. I
Yes.
already had Junior's story. I already had mine. I just had to get my ego out the way and tell the story not the way I wanted it, but the way it happened. And so I revealed some things in those moments leading up to meeting Junior that are real. And I'm proud of them, and I actually am excited about the book. I thank you for, for letting me in. There's so many people with so many books and so many titles to their name. And I'm coming home with a project that's about my home. So I'm excited.
Yeah. Now some of the things you mentioned, even though I'm not from Houston,
Mhm.
these things were happening. I'm from the East Coast. So the S&H stamps, that was nationwide, I believe.
Oh, okay.
We
I never knew that.
Yeah, because I was in Virginia, so my mother had them. And then Woolworths, that was everywhere. Yeah, I think Woolworths was like one of the first places that integrated in some cities. I forgot which city it was.
North Carolina,
Woolworth County,
Houston. Yeah,
the
yeah,
Woolworth, because people couldn't sit down and eat at the counter in Woolworth.
absolutely.
And
Well,
so that was
I'm
before
older than
me,
you.
but I heard about it. Well, by the time I was coming up, we could eat at Woolworths. But
Oh, well,
before
of course.
me, they couldn't.
Yeah.
So the just things you mentioned that we did not have a Wieners. I think Wieners is either Houston or Texas. I know
It
that's
was very
here.
Texas. Yes.
Okay, but we didn't have
Yeah.
Wieners. But we did have S&H stamps, and we had Woolworth.
Right. And that Salvation Army, I was just there about a month ago. I was back home. It has been multiple resale shops, Goodwill, Salvation Army, and
Okay.
whatever else, whatever gentrification or economic times allows, but it's still there. And yeah, it's still there. It's
So,
still,
did you have any more contact with Junior and his family after seeing them at the Salvation Army, or was that your one encounter?
I saw them walk in. I followed them. The bus stop was right out the window. I saw them leave and go to the bus stop. It's been 38, almost 39 years now. I've never seen them again.
It's amazing the impact that a moment or a person can have on you. And it was probably just meant for you to see them because
Mm.
it really taught you some lessons that you hadn't thought about before. And you said that you were kind of arrogant at one time. And I think this experience kind of humbled you in some ways.
It absolutely did. And I was very humbled by it. And yes, those stories come to you. We all have stories. If anything comes from my 10 minutes here, we all have stories. And what took so long also is I didn't want to create anything. I wanted to tell. Junior would be 49 or 50 right now.
Okay.
And obviously he lived in South Park or somewhere in the area. Um, I happened to see them then. When they left, I never saw them again. I didn't ask their names. I didn't speak to them. But it was there that I met and was just totally, totally impressed with the dignity of this young man and the respect his younger siblings, who were, I have to assume, 5 and 6, 5 and 7, and the responsibility his mom gave him. Junior, take care of the little ones, quote unquote, that's in the book, while I shop for a few things. And um, I was supposed to see it. And again,
Right.
I, a young man. I was single, but I love resale shops and Salvation Armies. I grew up in them. So again, they weren't foreign to me. And I like old jackets, hats, and whatever. And but it was on that day that I needed to see and meet Junior um, and his family. But again, if I don't know where he is, I don't know where to find him. I don't know how do you research a man dying in a fire and his son and children and his wife, widow now, is getting married tomorrow. I was told up when I found out what was happening.
Wouldn't it be awesome if one day he just happened to pick up this book and recognize his story and reached out to you?
I have done a couple of podcasts in the past year, and I've said that, and thank you for that. I have said, if he's listening, if there's a family member listening, I gave the address to the store, 4340 Griggs Road. It's at the corner of Griggs and Cullen. It's still there. And all I know is Junior. That's the only name I got. But everything else was trying to fill in the blanks of who I imagine this young boy is or was. I'd love for, boy, if he walked into Fallbrook and told me, if he said, Mr. Russell, I'm Junior, y'all would have to carry me out. My hope is that, it's funny you said that because everyone says that. What if one day he picks it up and reads it to his kids or grandkids, not knowing it's him?
Yeah, and recognizes the story. And you'll be at the National Black Book Festival, so that's why you said walks into Fallbrook.
Yes, and I cannot tell you. I know you've been getting all my emails. I'm blowing your computer up. I know, but
at this time of the year, in terms of the amount of time before the festival, all the authors are blowing up by email. So you're not by yourself. So that's just the nature of it.
Yeah, I just want to get it right because, again, it's my first. I'm not, well, I guess I am now a writer, but I don't have the history that the people I've seen that come through. Your thing is big. I didn't know that it was like that. I'm just, trying to make some connections with my friends and family back home, but it has taken on a whole new beast. The book is everywhere it can be purchased. I have friends in Nigeria have bought it and taken it back home. The UK, Canada, all over the country. A few of my friends and classmates that have now moved back to Mexico, and I'm humbled by all of it because, again, this random day, and this young boy or now man has been with me for almost 40 years. And I just hope I did right by him.
Yeah, there's some things that happen in our lives that are unforgettable. They're really crucibles. They're meeting certain people or certain things happening, or just and it can be good or bad. There's some things that are life changing. But it's all part of the path that we all take as humans on this earth for the amount of time we have here. And it's like a minute. It's very fast.
That's true.
A minute. Also I wanted to mention that this may not be the time. This may be email stuff we need to deal with, but Again, I'm very proud of what I've done. Proud of you as well. This is hard, what you do, and to service so many. And there's other people who won't even be in attendance who are also writers and also dreaming. The hardest thing is to sit down and be quiet and put pen to paper. That's the hardest part. It's just to begin and trust the process. We all think our material is the best, like our children. we all do, and and to whatever degree it is the best. So to be in this group of men or in the category that says something because they are accomplished, and either way, um, either way, I committed to getting Junior. He's 11, by the way. I've committed to getting him through junior high, well, they call it middle school now. I'm old. And high school. And
Okay, so we're going to be following his journey for a while.
I'm only going to say it once, so if whoever's listening, you're getting this info. Junior will finally become strong and healthy. Junior will finally make the basketball team his senior year, but he'll never get to play. And I'm going to leave that right there.
Okay.
It's not about basketball. It's about Junior.
Okay. All right. Well, I like that you did a very good job. Your cover is very attractive.
Ooh, that boy is bad.
Whoever did your cover did a great job. And that is a big part of the battle, because a whack cover, excuse me, is a good presentation, and it kills your book.
This is true.
Victor Onyenobi, that brother he's got others. He's done so much. He helped me through Ingram Sparks and the whole hookup with Amazon, which, is its own monster. But he is so talented and so detailed. He is worth the expense for my money. And I met him on Facebook. I'm just combing through, and the brother had some art that he had done for some project on the Disney film. And I said, there is no way in the world, one, I'll hear from him, but two, that I can afford him. And he contacted, and the afford part is still up in the air. But he is so good,
I do get it. But some people do actually respond to DMs. You never know who is going to do it. We had Wendell Pierce at the National Black Book Festival. It was about 8 years ago or 9 years ago.
Really?
But I reached out to him on Instagram. I sent him a direct message on Instagram, and he responded. Now, I met him at the NAACP Image Awards.
Yeah.
But I hadn't asked him to be a featured author. But when I messaged him, I told him I met you at the Image Awards. So that might have helped a little bit. But he could have just said no or not said anything at all.
I've known
That's true. You never know. You just never know.
You never know. You can't, if you don't ask, asking you will receive.
Didn't Curtis say he just reached out to Walter Mosley and he said yes?
Yeah, and Walter Mosley, he does respond because he's been at our event 2 or 3 times. He does respond. His people do respond, or he responds. And he's still, because he was at the thing we went to in New Orleans, Rhonda, the library, the Black Librarians Conference. He was there. So he's still getting around. He lives in New York, but he's still getting around. Now, we got 1 minute left. I do want to, you said you were an actor, and I just wanted to hear a little bit, just give our audience a little bit about how you're acting. What have you been in that we might know?
First of all, there's been quite a bit. I think what I get stopped in the grocery store for, I was this very, very, I won't say crazy, but interesting principal on Insecure. I was the principal kind of, I wasn't racist, but I was looking out for my folk, right? I did that. I've done Grey's Anatomy. I've done tons of theater around the country and the world. I've NCIS, all that. But interesting, you mentioned Wendell. Wendell Pierce was a producer on the play Jitney in New York, of which I was a part of. August was a friend of mine before he passed for 20 years. And Wendell was one of the producers when we were up Broadway for, I don't know, 10, 11 months or whatever.
Yeah.
But I've done some things. My website, to make it easier and, kind of excuse my rambling, is arussellandrews.com. And so all of my stuff is there.
And we put that in the chat.
I'm sorry?
We put your website in the chat.
Oh, you do? Thank you. Yeah, and so my work is there. And again, so much is stage, of which most of the public won't see. However, I have knock on wood or whatever. I've got, awards. I've got the Olivier, which is, it is the tip top of stage awards in the UK and transfers over here. But all of that was with August Wilson, who was a friend and mentor. And so I've been fortunate. It's a tough business. Yeah. And oh my God, when it's good, it's really good. It's really good. But when it's not, it's like, damn. There are a lot of days where, oh damn. But it's a good business. It's a good life. It's taken me places I never thought I'd go. Giving me courage, to even get through the book. And I thought my life was going to be athletics, but again, they say if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. So,
yeah,
that's true. I've heard that before.
Yes, ma'am.
We're at the end of our time, Russell, but we're looking forward to seeing you next month at the festival. And thank you for being a guest on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me, and anticipate more emails.
Okay, well, they come fast and furious between now and the event.
Okay. So, and I'm sorry, Dr. Lawson, I didn't introduce myself. It's nice to meet you as well.
Well, thank you very much. It was wonderful to meet you.
All right, take care, ladies. I'll see you soon.
Okay, have a good night.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so we're at the final interview for tonight, and each one has been interesting. These are all new, and I do want to say that doing my count, the 800th guest will be either next week or the week after. So we will have interviews
rolling right along
100 different people, because see, tonight is all new people that haven't been on the show, so that added to the count. So anyway, it's a lot of people that are from Houston, lived in Houston, and that I didn't know were from Houston or lived in Houston. And this is our next guest is another one. Now he logged in like 2 hours ago, so he may have gone to get a snack or something. But
I'm here, sis. I'm here.
But you gotta turn your camera on, baby.
Oh, I didn't know y'all wanted me to turn that on. How y'all doing?
Okay, yeah, you have to turn it on. But you know, Doris Allen, who's been on the show a few times, and she reached out to me, and she's with Scholastic now, and she introduced me to by email to Van Garrett, and then I see he's in Houston. It's like it's a lot of people that come through Houston or in and out of Houston. I'm not from Houston, but I've been here many years. So, welcome to Black Authors Matter TV.
I appreciate it. Thank y'all for having me. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Glad to have you.
And you're the author of a book called Kicks, which is your debut picture book. You have a copy of it?
Yes, ma'am. That's right here.
Andy?
That's Kicks.
Oh, you know, we just finished talking about basketball shoes or basketball, and with our previous guest. And you have a book called Juneteenth.
That's
You
right
have okay, you got that too. Okay, very nice. Now,
I love the cover.
Is the illustrator or the writer?
I'm the writer. Yes, ma'am. The illustrator of this is Reginald Adams and Samson Bimbo Adenugba. And both of them were based in Houston. They did the big mural in Galveston on the Strand. So,
oh, wow.
Yes, ma'am. So we're just really excited to work with them. And it's just, I mean, it really came together. It really came together.
Very, very nice. Very, very nice work. So you are also a poet.
Right.
You've won awards for that. And just give us a little bit of background about who Van Garrett is.
Okay, yeah. Well, I'm glad to again be on the show. So I'm Van Garrett. I grew up in Wharton, Texas. I don't know if y'all know where Wharton.
Yeah, I know where Wharton is. You go through there on the way to Dallas, I think.
I guess that's one way to go. I guess that's
one way. Is it on the way to Dallas or is it on the way to Louisiana?
The other way, going toward Corpus Christi, going south.
Corpus. Okay. See, I'm turned around. I know I've seen the signs though.
Probably thinking about Waco. Yeah, probably Waco. You're probably thinking the other way. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you're Wharton, Texas. Now have we heard something about Wharton, Texas in the news in the last few years? Has it been on the news?
Probably a lot of storms because we get a lot of weather down that way. So flooding and storms and Wharton County, you probably hear a lot about that. But
okay, so but you all didn't get the flooding with this the last one that we had, the last bad one in the hill country.
Oh no, we didn't. No, we were fortunate we didn't get that. So yeah, so I mean I grew up there, moved to Houston to go to school, to go to college. Studied at Houston Baptist University, which is now Houston Christian University. Undergrad degree, English and mass media. So I thought I wanted to be a journalist, which I was a journalist for a while and did entertainment for a while. And then I went back to school to become a teacher. So I'm an educator. And then I went back to school to get my advanced degree. And my advanced degree is in literature, African American studies. So what I write is really steeped in what it is I've learned, what I've studied, and what I practice. So yeah. So and poetry. I mean, I've done poetry for years as well. So.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. So, how would you describe your poetry in terms of, you know, the different types of poems, or like the different spirit of poetry? Do you focus on rhyming? Do you focus on telling a story? How would you describe yourself as a poet?
Oh, that's a great question. So when I first started writing, that was when I was working at an alternative school. And so I tell people it was the harsh realities that I was experiencing on a daily basis, like just real edgy, real raw, real urban type stories. And then later, because people kept saying, you're not gonna write love poems, you write about all this other stuff, write about some love. So I was like, okay, let me dig in my bag. And I started writing some love poems, and the reception was pretty good. But at first, the love poems were more so tributes and odes to people like Shaka Khan or Millie Jackson or Patti LaBelle, women I had crushes on, you know, and I appreciated for different levels. So the interesting story is one time I was in the airport, and Shirley Caesar was there in the airport. And so she said, let me see what you had there. So she read the poem about Patti LaBelle. She's like, there's not a poem about me. I said, you know what, I got you on the next project. But so that evolved, and writing evolved, and it got more personal. Writing got more personal. But the form that people know me probably for writing are the Kwansabas. Now, the Kwansaba looks like this. That's 49 words. Now, this is an African American inspired poetic form. So it's 49 words. You have 7 lines, and 7 words in each line.
Wow.
Okay.
But the kicker is no word can have more than 7 letters.
Oh, now that's an art form.
It's an art form, yeah, but proper noun is excluded. So like you can put Manhattan there, but you can't use xylophone. So it's very formulaic. So people who are in the math, if you're a mathematician, so that form came about by Eugene B. Redmond in East St. Louis. He's the poet laureate in East St. Louis. Did a lot of things with Maya Angelou, and he had a journal called Drum Voices Review. And so that's what I learned about the form. And over years, I've been writing that. So yeah, I do a lot of things with music as well. So like jazz haiku, I've done that. But I like to stick with the Kwansabas and also write in form, but I also write free verse, and I do a lot of things, like I said, music.
Well, you just taught me something tonight.
Kwansaba. Can you
Wait,
spell
don't
it?
tell us how to spell it. I think I know how, and you tell me if
I
I'm wrong.
don't. So I want to know. I want to know.
Oh, I'm gonna guess. Don't come for me if I get it wrong now.
No,
Okay.
Is it QU? Is it QU?
Yeah, I
KU?
thought it was KW like
KW.
Kwanzaa.
KW.
Like Kwanzaa.
KWANSABA?
there you go. Yeah, there you go. Hey,
Kwansaba.
listen,
Okay.
you got it. Listen, and let me tell you something. It's steeped in the principle of Kwanzaa, with the
Okay.
principle of sevens. You know, it's a
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
seven,
see,
seven
that makes
forms.
me remember it even more. But you know what?
Mhm.
Because I've never heard that term before, because I know about haikus,
Right,
but
right.
this is totally different.
Yes, agreed.
I'm gonna have to pull out my, because I do a little bit of poetry. I don't tell everybody. I do a little bit of poetry,
Tell
but
me
I want
about that. This is new information. We've been
Bec-
co-hosting this show for
because
5 years, and I never
because I don't write it. I don't write it a lot. Just every once in a while, if it hits me, I'll write some poetry.
Sure.
But I don't do a lot of it. But this is something that really intrigues me, and I want to learn how to do this. So in order for me to learn, I have to practice.
Yeah, there you go. And listen, and it is an African American inspired art form. Whereas the haiku, that's Japanese, the tanka is Japanese,
Right.
is Japanese, but this is the African American inspired art form. And just like with the principle of Kwanzaa, it's an ode. So normally it's an ode, a poem of tribute. So it's you can have a lot of fun. You can have a whole lot of fun with Kwansaba. So I can't wait to see what you write. Hope you share it so I can check it out.
Look, I just found you on Instagram, so I'm gonna send you messages. Don't act like you don't know me. Okay?
Say less.
the 49, the 7 and 7, and I can't write poems. I did one book that rhymes.
Oh, wow, okay.
And it's my children's book called Boss Women, and it's like actual women. It's like their biographies.
Nice.
So I went online and looked at videos about them and read about them, and then I created a rhyming story about each person. But that's the only rhyming I've ever done in my entire life. Was for that book. But it was for children, so I thought it would flow better if it rhymed. I thought they would.
Well, I want to give a shout out to Delight, who decided to put an explanation of what Kwansaba is in the chat, and it's a nice long explanation. So I want to thank her for that, because that helps us all out.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because this is my first time hearing about it.
Yeah, it's fun. Once you start doing it, it's like second nature. You'll just start seeing it. But that's literally what 49 words on the page looks like.
Okay, now did you do that with your books, the book Kicks or Juneteenth?
No, but listen, I didn't do it with any of the books, but Kicks and the new book Specs, they're odes, so poems of tribute. So much like the Kwansaba is a poem of respect and an ode. Yeah, this is ode to sneakers, and then the new book Specs, it's an ode to the fly's glasses, and it's part of the series. It's part of a series. So yeah,
that's neat.
Yeah.
So are both of those Scholastic books or?
No, these are Versified HarperCollins. So yeah,
they're HarperCollins. Okay.
Right. So all three of them are HarperCollins. Yeah.
Okay, because Doris told me, but I thought maybe they were related to Scholastic. So tell us about the poetry that you've been in competitions with, and some of your awards that you've got.
Okay, so let's see. So the Texas Association of Authors, I had to go back and Texas Association of Authors said that my chapbook which is called 49 Wings and Prayers, which is a small collection of Kwanzabas. That's why it's 49.
Oh,
Okay.
so you have 49 Kwanzabas in the book.
Well, in the full length, but each poem is a 49 word Kwanzaba, so that's why it's 49 wings. It's about 22 poems, 22 poems in the tap book, so it's like a mixtape. So 49 wings and prayers, and it's a lot about coming up as a kid, and I highlight my grandparents in there, and just a lot of familiar type poems. So that won the best collection of poetry by best African American collection of poetry by the Association of Authors of Texas. Say that like 20 times. Just say that 20 times. That's a tongue twister. And then scrap my collection of boxing poems, because I'm a boxing fan, huge fight fan. My collection of poems about boxing, scrap that won the poetry the poetry question contest, which was a national contest. So what I like doing is I like writing chapbooks, because I write a whole lot. I write for kids, I write for adults, I write for everybody, but I like to focus on a particular theme and just maximize that theme. So I've been very fortunate that my chapbooks have been getting pretty good receptions. Just recently, I was a finalist for the Atlanta Review for their chapbook contest for another poetry collection. So, yeah, I'm just cranking out the words constantly, just cranking them out.
Okay. Now, are you still an educator?
I'm still an educator. Yes, I teach 6th, 7th, and 8th creative writing. So, yeah. So, yeah. So I have to use a lot of good energy all day, every day.
When I was in school, you would have been my favorite teacher, because I loved writing back when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah. Well, look, writing, I know it sounds like a cliche, right? But writing really helped me in so many different ways, right? There are a lot of people that say hip hop saved my life, and I can understand that too, because hip hop at its core is like, it's what made me feel like I had the wings to be an artist, to be a writer, to say whatever I wanted to say. Like, for me coming up, I always think about groups like Public Enemy. I think about it was a group called I was gonna say Foo Snickens, but it's not Foo Snickens. UMCs, the UMCs, A Tribe Called Quest, and then you couple that with reading Nikki Giovanni, and I'm like, Nikki Giovanni talks about whatever she wants to say. These artists, I'm looking at the visuals, and I'm like, wow. So hip hop really nurtured.
Now you can't forget Rakim.
Oh, Rakim Allah, of course. Don't get me started talking about hip hop, but yeah, Rakim.
Yes,
it's just his syntax, just his rhyme scheme, and just his laid back flow. But speaking about laid back flows, I know we got other things to talk about, but Big Daddy Kane, because of that just laid back.
I love that laid back flow. Yes.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Oh man, see, you're gonna have me going down the line, so I'm gonna stop there.
Pulling stuff out, doing a playlist. Is that what you?
Yeah.
Are you, well, a couple of things, since you teach creative writing at the 6th, 7th, and 8th, so that's 11, 12, and 13, basically the ages. Sure. So what are you finding in terms of what students are writing about, or is that something that they are attracted to? How do you keep them engaged when they're everything's so tech driven?
Right. So one thing is I just allow them to be who they are. I never want to change them. I'm like, you come in, you just bring me whatever energy you have, and we'll just sort all that stuff out. We'll work it out. So just yesterday, I received an email. Young man said, hey, look, this is a song that I really like. He said, but I'm going to remix it. What do you think about the remix? And I'm like, this is fire. This is great, because he's finding ways to connect to the music, finding ways to add his own energy to it. I'm still very much, we talk about different ways and methods of writing and how one comes up with ideas. I try to get them to think about working another muscle memory. So a lot of the drafting is old school pen and paper, especially in the age of AI, because I want to see that it's their actual thoughts and their ideas. And then we come back to the computers as far as typing and editing and drafting and all that. But I think again, just me allowing them to be who they are, but also they see me as a learner too, because I sit right alongside them and say, hey, so who should I be listening to? And they give me homework. So I'm listening to this person. Then we have a conversation about it. Okay, so this is the rhyme scheme that Tyler, the creator, is demonstrating. Oh, he chose to do this. He chose to do that. So why do you like him? You like it because of the rhyme? Okay, so let's talk about what's happening structurally. So we try to really just delve into all of the disciplines. It's an interdisciplinary approach. We do things with art. Art very much informs and influences and inspires our work. We have a blast. We have a blast. So yeah, because it goes both ways. It's reciprocal, right? I learn from them. They learn from me. So.
And is it required or is it an elective?
It's an elective. Yes, it's an elective. Yes.
Okay. I didn't even have electives in 6th grade. Everything was required till I think middle school. Well,
I don't remember having electives in the 6th grade, so I think that's great.
I know I did in 6th or 7th. I think 8th. 8th was when I first.
I barely remember 6th grade, so you might not want to go by me.
So since it's an elective, that means people are choosing it, which means they're interested in it.
Yeah, that's usually the case. Yes, that's usually the case. Yes.
Yeah. So I like the you're giving us an education on this Kwansaba.
Yes.
And some people might be familiar with it already. This is my first time hearing about it totally, but I'm not really into poetry. Okay. So unless it's spoken word, I normally don't read poetry. I normally listen to it if somebody has good delivery.
Sure. That being said, while you're researching about the Kwansabas, take the time to find out more about Eugene B. Redmond and the work that he's done in East St. Louis, because East St. Louis is such a cultural place, right? But just his writers group, how they were sitting around like we're talking right now, right? And the conversation was like, where's the African American form of poetry? And they came up with one. And it's just genius. It's really, really genius how it just pays homage to Kwanzaa, right? The principle of 7, which that's a very powerful number anyway. And then just the odes, so.
Well, Van, I've got to say that you are what makes this show special, because you didn't just come on here and just talk about your book and leave it at that. You came on here actually teaching, and everybody's going to walk away just knowing a little bit more about our wonderful literary world.
Yes,
because you came on here and dropped us some knowledge. So I appreciate that.
I appreciate you for saying that. Yeah, and I'm having fun hanging out with y'all. It's an honor to be here. It's just good energy. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, and we've had poets on before and lots of different guests, but this is our first time hearing about Kwansaba. So there's always something new to learn.
Oh yeah. And I meant when we were going down the hip hop line, it just hit me that we left Mos Def out of the conversation.
Oh, come on. Mighty Mos? Come on, Dante.
Yeah, we can't be leaving Mos Def out.
One half of Black Thought. Come on. It's just like, oh gosh. Okay. All right. So here's the deal, right? Here's the deal. Like, you tell me how you feel about it. A lot of people say that Yasin Bey, Mos Def, right? They appreciate his voice, right? But some people prefer Talib's pen game over Moses. So I think
that's a good one.
Yeah, so I think having them just in the super group, really, like Black Star, I think that there's something special. It's something special about that. But go ahead.
No, well, I was just going to say, I kind of feel a similar way about Common, because I'm not really a big fan of his rap style, but I like what he has to say.
Interesting. So you didn't listen to the new album with Pete Rock, because that is listen, let me tell you something. Like, Common is hit or miss sometimes, right? But this album that he just dropped, you can put it on. It's great writing music. Y'all can just write to it. You can vibe to it. And
okay, I need that. What's the name of the album? I'm about to download it.
You know what? I hate to tell you, I don't know the title of it, but it's the most recent. Recent album. Listen, it's the most recent album with Pete Rock, because Pete Rock just on production, he's just a great producer and just all that stuff. But But yeah, that new Common album, I think it might take you back to like Water for Chocolate Common. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
you know, like it's just kind of like it just has a groove to it. So yeah.
Yeah, both Common and Most Def did some acting.
Right. And yeah, so you might be familiar that so Common's mom was a professor of English, right? Professor of English, I believe. Earl Sweatshirt, his mom, professor of English. DJ Premier, I believe his dad was a professor at Prairie View. Of course, Kanye's mom. So the thing is, this is what I tell the students. A lot of times you have to track that timeline because you ask if you really listen to the lyrics, like, how do they know this? Because they're well read. Why are they well read? Because their folks put them in front of books a lot. So if you just go down that timeline and see who has had sustainability in the rap game, is usually the people that I mentioned because they were exposed to it. It's literature, right? It's literature. But yeah, speaking of Talib Kweli and hip hop and literature, so Sonia Sanchez, right? So Talib featured Sonia Sanchez, but then there was Sonia and Etheridge Knight. It's like that whole timeline, the whole timeline of like the Black arts movement. So it's like Black arts movement, and then early stages of hip hop, and then where we are today. It's a beautiful thing if you really just lay it out, you know. But we don't have all night to talk about that. But I just love looking at the timelines and how it's all connected, you know, because it's all connected.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an evolution. You know, it's connected to one thing is connected to the next thing. It's it doesn't occur in a vacuum or in isolation.
Sure.
So are you able to convey that to your students?
I mean, yeah. I mean, you know, it's interesting because when I was an adjunct at University of Houston, I was able to. I mean, I could play certain lyrics and certain songs, and we could really explicate that and really do a deep dive. And for my students, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say they get the watered down version, but they get a different version in it, like we're talking right now. But yeah, it makes sense to them because they're so smart. Like they understand. Here's a beat, here are lyrics, but once you give them the skill set, like you front load the material, like, hey, look, this is allusion, this is an allusion, this is that. It's a tie back, you know. It's okay. Case in point. So and I'm sorry the educator hat came on, but there's this literary style, and it's called tumbling verse, also known as skeltonic verse, tumbling verse. So it's like, so you try to find like a rhyme scheme, a rhyme pattern, and you just try to exhaust it. So it's like, say it's the I sound, I. So you're rhyming every word that rhymes with the I sound. Then you come back the E. So Kanye, he's known for doing that. But then there's a whole Chicago timeline because Chance the Rapper does the same thing, and other rappers from different regions. So you start breaking it down like regional, like on a regional basis. It's just so much, you know what I mean? So I eat this stuff up, y'all. So it's like,
it sounds like it.
Yeah.
Well, Van, we're at the end of our time.
Oh, already? Come on.
We're at the end of the show. So
Well, you show us your books one more time.
Yeah, I got you. All right. So this is Kicks. Yeah, this is Kicks.
About
fly pair of sneakers. Yeah.
Sneakers for basketball. And
then this is Juneteenth. About a family going to Juneteenth parade in Galveston.
Okay.
Yes.
And then this is the most recent title that came out last month, August 5th. So this is Specs. So yeah, this is our protagonist here is Joshua, and this is his sister Bria. So Bria's looking for the flyest pair of glasses as well. And the same illustrator. Shout out to Reggie Brown. I gotta just shout out Reggie Brown because I love that. Showing kids that glasses can be a superpower, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. Spectacular. So yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being a guest on the show. Congratulations on all your work. And thank you for your service being an educator.
I appreciate that. Thank y'all. Look, thank y'all.
Excited and committed because you seem to be excited about teaching.
Right.
That's important.
Yeah. I love what I do. I love it.
I can tell. Well, thank you so much. We will stay in touch.
Please do. And thank y'all so much. All right. Y'all take care.
Have a great night.
All right. Y'all too. All right. Bye-bye.
Now that's the
Okay,
way
well,
to end the show.
it is. It was, they all the guests tonight were really great and interesting, and
Yes.
as they are every week. So we're at the end of the show, and we'll be back next week with another amazing episode of Black Authors Matter TV. I'm Gwen Richardson signing off.
And I'm Dr. Rhonda Lawson. Have a wonderful evening and a great week.
I both of us forgot to do what we used to do. And so it's a pause with our outro, but it's coming. It's coming.
Thank you for tuning in, and join us next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern for another edition of Black Authors Matter TV.